Good morning everyone, welcome back. My name is Stuart, this is Stuart's and Stitches. Today is Sunday the 23rd of November and this is Flosstube number 51. It's nice to be back with you again. We're back to the normal routine. This is Sunday morning. It's a very damp Sunday morning here in my little corner of the central belt. We've had all sorts of weather this week. We had frost and ice and a wee covering of snow during the week. The temperature plummeted. It was nice actually, nice to have a nice wee touch of winter. Didn't go very far in that. I love seeing it, but I do not like contending with it. Then that all disappeared come Friday afternoon, and the rain descended a bit. And then yesterday wasn't too bad. I got out for a walk yesterday, so that was good. And today, at the moment, well, I heard it during the night. It was chucking it down. Hailstones. Well, it wasn't hailstones. It was certainly raining cats and dogs. Anyway, that's the weather update for this morning. Welcome. It's lovely to be here again, as I say. All my regular viewers, thank you so much for taking the time out to spend some time with my stitching. I hope you've got something nice to stitch on as well. I'm sure you all have from what you tell me. Fascinating hearing what you're all stitching. I love it. To my new subscribers, and again there's been a wee uptick, thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. I hope you do continue to enjoy what I'm sharing with you. If there's anything else you'd like to see, please do let me know. And to anybody who's just stumbled across me through the wonders of the YouTube algorithm, or the mysteries of the YouTube algorithm, who knows how that works. Welcome. It's nice to have you here. I hope you enjoy what I'm going to share with you today, and if you do, give me a thumbs up, let me know you do like it, and maybe think about subscribing and ringing the bell to get notified when I post. I tend to post every week on a Sunday, apart from if I'm away at a retreat or something like that, but 90% of the time you'll get an update from me on a Sunday, regular as clockwork. Thank you for all the comments. As always, it's great fun reading them, sharing them with Carl. He's always asking what's the goss, who's saying what. And it's, as always, I do enjoy reading what you're working on, as it always sends me off to Google to have a wee look when I don't know what it is. It's fascinating seeing the different pieces people are working on just now. I love it. So do please keep dropping comments down below. And if you do want to get in touch with me, there are various ways. Gmail. You can find me over on email at Stuart. No, you can't. At stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. You can also get me on Instagram and TikTok at stuartsandstitches. The brain is not quite kicked in this morning yet. I post on Instagram and TikTok most days. TikTok is a new thing to me, but I seem to be quite enjoying that. I just post there both those about my temperature stitching and what I've been working on that day, which seems to be popular, and particularly depending what piece it is as well. Some are more popular than others. To those of you who know my temperature stitching, I shall leave you to deduce from that which is which. So that leads me nicely into temperature stitching. So today we have 4 pieces of temperature stitching to look at. We've got, well, 5 actually, but one is now finished. If you've been following me on Instagram, you'll know the one I'm talking about. That's another temperature stitch finish, which I'm very pleased about. We'll talk about that shortly. And I have 2 new contenders for the temperature stitching to tell you about, to replace the 2 that are now out. One I think I might have mentioned last week as a possibility, but now I will tell you about it definitely. Anyway, in no particular order, let me start. So for my temperature stitching, I have 10 projects assigned 0 to 9, so that's 10. And every day I will have a look at the BBC weather app and see what that day's high is for where I live. And depending what that high is, will tell me what piece I am stitching on. So at the moment I'm fluctuating between double digits and single digits. So if it's double digits, I take the last digit. So if it's 11, then I take 1, or 12, I take 2. You get the drift. And that will then tell me what piece I'm either putting 100 stitches into, or stitching on it for an hour if I'm not counting the stitches, because that would give me roughly about 100 stitches. So, what got called this week? Well, our friendly owl was on show this week. This always causes great discussions. So, this is from Tom of Finland's Shipwright series. This is part 2, where the 2 men, or the 2 boys, or the whatevers are getting more acquainted with each other, as you will see. Somebody did query that the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation was maybe should be relocated. I think it actually has been relocated, to be honest. Here's where we are. So, how many times did this come out this week? I'll let you look at that while I work that out. I came out twice, so I get 2 hours of work Monday, because I'm only going to get semi-stitching from Monday onward this week, because I recorded on Monday after the Scottish Stitching Retreat. So the lighting's a bit funny today, but we'll see how it goes. So I've got my lamp to the side of me, which is why it's angled. This is angled. So this week I worked in, there was a thread hanging there, so I worked that in, got rid of all this white, well, worked more of this white. Then I came across and started filling in his hair here, and started filling in this space up here. So it's coming along quite nicely. As I've said, we're more than halfway there now. And our owl is there just to preserve modesty. I don't want getting thrown off YouTube for showing immodest pictures. That would not do at all. So that's Tom of Finland's Shipwrecked Part 2. Our friends here are getting better acquainted. Right, I'll just put that back where it lives until the next time it's out. So next up, that got 2 days work, so 2 hours of stitching that one got. Next up we have, well, it's not so new now, it's relatively new to the party. Let me just get the chart out of the way, because I know we can't be showing you the chart. But I will show you the picture. I've got a piece of paper going everywhere here. Help. Right, so here's what we're talking about. So this is the Blue Flower. No, it's not. This is Quilting Bee by the Blue Flower. And the design is just this middle piece here on the kind of brown fabric. It's a lovely, lovely design. It's been out for a wee while now. So I'm stitched. When I started this was the first ever piece I had stitched in a higher count linen. I'd got a 40 count piece of something from Peakside. I can't remember what it is now. Vellum or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're stitching on it, and I love it. It's a nice piece of fabric to be stitching on. So here's where we are. I'll just peer over the top here so that I can see what you're seeing. Around the side. Oh, there we go. That's looking not bad. So this week, what did I do? I finished this motif here. So these kind of browny mustardy colours. Funnily enough, that's called mustard, that colour. And then this piney mountain along the top border. That gave me an hour's worth of stitching. So it's looking very good. Coming on very nicely. There we go. Yes, I think you're able to see it alright. The colours are looking relatively true. Maybe this light's not too bad after all. And these are the threads. It's a mixture of classic colourworks and gentle arcs. Oops, I'll just drape that artistically. He says, well, it's like when I do flowers in a vase, I just drop them in, then Carl comes along to tidy them up. So there we are, that's the Quilting Bee. So that got an hour's worth of stitching, which I think, I did actually total that one up. It did come to about 100 stitches. Finishing that motif and then stretching out along the border. Where's my, there I was going to say, where's my needle minder gone? It's right in front of my very nose. Deary dear. It's been one of those days today, I can feel it. Feel it in my waters, as they say. Right. Let's set that down there. Okay, next one up is Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. This is lovely. The colours in this are gorgeous. Ooh, threads. I've got threads from the Quilting Bee sitting here. These need to disappear or they'll just get mixed up. Right. So we're talking about this lovely piece here. And I'm down in this area here. So this came out for 1 day this week, and I actually counted these stitches. It got 105. It's a lovely design. So I'm using the Vildani threads for this. So these are the Vildanis. So they come in wee balls. So I'm just untangling a little bit. They come in wee balls, and then I started using them from the balls, but then this started collapsing a wee bit, and I thought, oh, I'm going to get confused here. So I wound them onto floss drops. And they're lovely colours, lovely area colours. You'll now want to see what I've stitched, won't you? So what did I stitch this week? Let me think. I can't remember. I can't remember when you last saw it. I think this only came out once this week, so I think it can only be what the motif I was working on, which is this one here. I worked on that, got me my 100 odd stitches. There we go. So the basket of acorns is looking lovely next to it. So next time that comes out, we'll fill in it. There's some work around the sides of it to go, and then some work on the inside. And that'll be that wee motif finished, and I can move on to the next one. I like this because you're working in different wee motifs in it a lot, you get many finishes as you're going along, which is very satisfying. There's a huge monster motif coming up over on in here somewhere. There's a right doozy of a one coming in. Anyway, that's what the whole piece looks like. This has been stitched in a piece of 28 count linen. One strand of Valdani, well, one as it comes off, I think it's triple stranded, but I use all three as recommended. And it gives a lovely effect. The variegation is not subtle, it's amazing. And the only time I'll strip it down is when I come to do any backstitch, because I think Karen in the design recommends one strand. But other than that, it's take one off. Use it as a three as it comes off the spool. This way, there we go. So that's where we are, and it's looking lovely. The lighting is not the best today, I can only apologise for that. There's not a lot I can do. I can see my eye peering through the side there. So there we are. That's Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. I love this. I'm so pleased I brought this into my temperature stitching. And it's nice. I always look forward to when that one comes out. What's that allocated to? That's Autumn Quakers is number 3. Yes, I replaced Blue Moon Angel when I get fed up with it. Yeah, it's in my temperature stitching. If I get fed up with a piece, I'll just rotate it out. There's no point stitching something you don't like or you're bored with. So I'll keep a piece in until it's finished, or if it comes to a logical stopping point, or until I get fed up with it, at which point it goes. So, and that just leaves one piece. So on Wednesday, the high was 2, which was Cardinal Kin from Plum Street Sampler. I'm not going to show you what it looks like now because I can show you the finish. In fact, even better, I can show you it's a fully finished object. Yep, you heard it here. It's fully finished. I turned it into a wee cushion, and I'm delighted with it. So that'll get displayed in December. And here, so I did my hour stitching on it, and then I looked at it when I was finished. And I thought I could finish that today, and I did. That's exactly what I did. So I got that finished, and I fully finished it on Friday into a wee pillow. So here we are. Here's my little cardinals. So we've got Daddy, Mummy, Baby. And I'm so pleased with how that's turned out. That was stitched in a piece of West Greenloft yarn, which has now had this bit hacked out of it. Sat down and cut and mapped my rotary cutter and just cut this out, ready for it. And that's the back of it. Nice wee piece of Christmassy fabric. So that's Cardinal Kin. So that was stitched on 40 count. No, that's not true. It was 32 count linen, this, from the West Greenloft Yarn Dye Club. West Greenloft Yarn Fabric of the Month Club when I was in it some years ago. I'll say a couple of years ago, I think. And I started this piece 2 years ago at the Scottish Stitching Retreat. That's ridiculous. This tiny, tiny little piece took me 2 years to complete. Can you believe it? It comes in 2 colourways. There's this one and there's a slightly more muted one. It's the same chart. The Paulette chart gave us 2 colourways for it. So I bought the threads for both colourways, but I'm not. The once is enough. I've got too much to stitch to actually stitch this twice. In my naivety 2 years ago, I thought, well, I'll stitch this twice. That's not happening. But it's lovely. I'm very pleased at how that turned out. So that'll be a nice wee ornament to sit up in the sitting room. Or in the table in the hall, not sure where yet. I have my monthly Quakers sitting up in the hall table. But I'm very pleased with how that turned out. So it's using the over-dyed threads for it. Plus, I think there's some DMC mixed in as well. So it's Weeks Dye Works, Classic Colour Works, and DMC. And I am delighted with how that turned out. So, Cardinal Kin from Plum Street Samplers. Another finish and a fully finish. So it shows what you can do with your temperature stitching if you stick at it. That's me. Two more. I can't remember now if I got any other finishes this year. Hang on until we look at the list. See if it triggers anything. No, there are no other finishes. Just progress on various bits. So at some point soon I will go through everything that's in the temperature stitching, because some of it you haven't seen for a while. But today I want to show you 2 new entrants to the temperature stitch family. So, because I finished that and I finished Santa's house last week, I have gaps, which don't like gaps. I think I need things filled in. Like nature, I abhor a vacuum. So, last week I showed you my start at the retreat, and I mentioned about this. This is Nativity Tiny Town from Heart and Hand Samplers. Oh, Heart and Hand Needle Art, sorry. Let me get it out of my little bag here. So it's that piece. So a few of us started, I'll just bring it in a bit, there we go. A few of us started these some tiny towns last weekend at the retreat, and a number of us chose Nativity. And then we were chatting about it and thought it would be nice if we all aimed to have these finished by the March retreat. Now, they're small enough that it's a doable thing. And we thought it would be quite nice to have a few of these all sitting on the finish table, which I think that would be great fun. So that's what we're going to do. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I'm going to aim for a finish by March. And to do that, I'm just going to put it into my temperature stitching, I think, and see how we get on. And if I'm not got enough progress, I'll haul it out and give it some focus time. So here's where I'm going to be starting from when this comes up. And there's where we are. So this is in a piece of... I can't remember what this is. Do I have the label? I do. Thank goodness for that. Again, West Green Loft hand-dyed linen. The colourway is cookie dough and it's a 32 count linen. There's the label. And that's where I got to last weekend at the retreat. So I showed you this last week, but there's no harm in letting you see it again. So I'm just using the DMC colours. It's charted for fancy threads, but with DMC conversions. And I'm using the conversions. So let's see how we got on with that. So that's been allocated to... Oh, what is that? Where did I send that one? Where is my list? Organisation, Stuart. So Tiny Town is number 2. That replaces Cardinal Kin. For no reason, there's neither rhyme nor reason around what gets which number. That must have picked up second when I was filling in the gaps. And then the other piece that I'm going to use, just get it out from under the needle minder. And for this, I'll tell you now, I have absolutely no idea what the fabric is. One can sit there. So, about 2 or 3 years ago, Amanda Alba Stitcher suggested a stitch along for to start in January. I think it was around probably January the 25th for our national bard, Robbie Burns, and I decided to do for that the Ravens at Castle Care from Maximum Cross Stitch, which is this lovely design that Ellen created. And you can see there's a Scottish flag there. Castle Care is a very Scottish thing. And I absolutely love that raven towering over it. So everything good in this design. So, I made a great start on it. I'm no joking actually, I did make a good start. It's also in slightly squinting my frame. I'm going to have to do something about that at some point, but hey ho. So, here's where we are so far. As hasn't been touched for a while as a hanging thread, but I'm sure you'll cope. So that's where we are in that one. So you see the legs of the raven in the bit of the background and the start of one of the buildings. And of course I eat all my vegetables, as Ellen put it. That's where I first came across that expression when she saw my post on Instagram for this. She says, "Oh, I'm glad to see you eating all your vegetables." So that's the border done. It's a 3-layer border. That's a two shades of inner and outer green with a mustard in the middle. And it's been stitched on 32 count something. And I think I'm using CXC threads for this. I don't usually use CXC for non-full coverage, but I've obviously decided to for this, I think. I'm sure that's what's in the tin that I can sort of see to the side of me. So that's coming along. So I'll start putting some stitches into that. I think these are two worthy additions to the temperature stitch family, and you will see progress on those over the next few weeks and months, I hope. Let me just get my night bus needle minder back onto this. There. So that's the temperature stitching for the day done. Well, no, it's not. That's not true. That's a temperature stitching segment complete. I've had a good week of temperature stitching this week, and I'm absolutely blown away with my little finish. I love that. I think it's so good. Happy days. I'm very pleased I'm able to turn that into a wee cushion. At some point, I might get the chenille trim and just put a wee trim round the edge of this. I think I've got a glue gun downstairs. So I might just glue it on, or I think you can just kind of whip stitch it on, whipping around it. I'm sure I've seen people do it. I'm sure I saw Helen D doing something like that. I'll need to do a wee bit of research. Any ideas? Pop them down below. You know the drill. Right. So we've done temperature stitching, done the fully finished object, we've done the new entrance. I'm leading down my list. So what's next? Where is it? It's down here. Oh well. Let's get the tablet first. So next up is my other regular stitching of a week, which is Frost and Velvet from Stitching So Beautiful, or Stitches So Beautiful rather. So let me just find that and show you. Right, so this week I put in 632 stitches into it, and it looks, the chart looks like, mock up, turn you around, looks like that. A lovely, lovely, richly coloured Santa. I'm down in the wee, over in the corner here as usual, so I'm just working my way along here. I'm just doing this cross country by page. I'm onto my second page along the bottom, just filling that in. It's coming along nicely. I'm very pleased with how it's looking. And so as I'm delighted to see some viewers starting that as well, which is great. I had no idea it was such an influence. Right, so we're at 7,212 stitches out of 360,000, which is 2%. That's why I kept going. I wanted to get that 2% milestone, Jen. Hear that word? Milestone. So Jen the Caffeinated Crafter is doing Flosstube Frenzy. Well, we'll come to that in a minute actually, because I've got a piece to show you. Jen, you might want to have that checklist ready again. Anyway, 2% reached on this, which I'm very pleased with. If you're fancying a new full coverage chart, Stitches So Beautiful have their Thanksgiving sale on at the moment. 53% off. I'll link their site down below, and I'll put the code in as well. It's Grateful and Thankful is the code, with some capitals through it and one L on each of Grateful and Thankful. The sale is on now, running through to December the 1st, and it's 53% off, which is very generous. So, where are we? You'll want to see what the piece looks like. It's getting darker. Ah well, it is what it is, I'm afraid. I'm not that technical that I can sort that out. So this has been stitched on 28 count even weave, and it's looking so good. I'm very happy how this has turned out. So let's just turn it around and let you see the beast. So here we are. There we go. We got a wee bit of light on there. So I filled in the bottom of this fingertip here, and I've just been working, filling in the confetti. There's a lot of confetti in this section here on the page. So I filled all that in and worked along here. So when I pick it up this week, so it'll be today and tomorrow to get about 500 stitches in, I'll just work up and start filling in along here probably, I think is my idea. So there we go. So this has been stitched 1/1 full cross on 28 count gridded even weave using CXC threads. Those of you have asked a couple of times, The grids do wash out. It takes a wee bit of time and patience and trust in the process. Some hot soapy water and just agitate it a bit and then just let it sit and it will come off. It honestly does. You might need to do it 2 or 3 times, but it does come off. And the CXC threads, I haven't had them run. One of my ornaments, the only ornament I've finished, called the Witching Hour, which is a gorgeous black cat in it. So lots of 310. That didn't run at all when I washed it. So, but I love the detail in this. And if you look at his rings down here on his fingers, they come out really well when you're just looking at it like this. When you're stitching, when you're hovering over it through your lamp, you're looking at that and you think, what is this I'm stitching? But when you look at it like this, and you see that gorgeous detail, I mean, these are amazing. So if you fancy something like this, hop on over. It's 53% off. I'll link it down below and I'll put the code in as well. So that was Frost and Velvet from Stitches So Beautiful. Coming on well. So I'll get some work today and tomorrow. Right, what other whip do we have to show today? We have a Nora Corbett piece. So this is kind of a rinse and repeat from last week's. What's that? Oh, it's a thread. I saw something caught my eye. I thought it was a needle, but it's a sparkly thread. This is a rinse and repeat of last week's stuff. So it is, I think, most of the stuff I'm showing you is stuff you've seen the past couple of weeks. I seem to be, well, not quite monogamous, but I'm kind of concentrating on what's just out at the moment. So this is Luna from Nora Corbett. That lovely design. Oh, there we go. Let me tell you, I rethink of this lighting if it's going to be like this in the mornings. Anyway, there you go. It's one of the Bewitching Pixies. And this came out 2014. So the reason I'm doing this is, as I alluded to briefly, Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter, is doing the Flosstube Frenzy game. She picked 21 Flosstubers and I was one of the 21. And the piece she allocated to me was Luna. So when I saw her doing this, I thought, I have that piece not started. I have the bead pack, I've got the Krennic. I could pull some DMC and make a start, so I did. And then Jen revamped how she's doing the game to, depending what the Flosstuber shows, determines how many stitches she adds into it. And last week I managed to tick all the boxes, and I think I might have managed it again this week. So here we are. This is my Luna. So, any bit of the sparkle of the Krennic. All this green is Krennic. I'm very pleased to see all the Krennic is now stitched in, apart from the back stitch, but all the X's, all the cross stitches done. Pumpkins are all finished. So we're just starting working up on our dress now. So there's kind of black for where the folds are. And then there'll be various other greens and blues coming in as we work up. And it's being stitched in a piece of tie-dyed linen I got from a lady on Vinted. Started off live as 28 count, but it shrunk during the dyeing process. So this is going to be interesting when I come to the beading. As I've said before, I suspect the beads will be more interpretive than actual. We shall see. There's always ways and means. So there we go. And I'm stitching this 2/1 using DMC and Krennic. Well, the Krennic, of course, is just one strand. I remember the first time I used Krennic, not knowing any better, I doubled it over, or I used 2 strands of it, and I couldn't work out why I was struggling so much. Really, Stuart, really. And I posted in one of the groups, and thankfully the ladies didn't laugh at me too much, but they did suggest I might want just to use 1 strand, and they were quite right. One lives and learns. So there we are, that's Luna. She's looking really good. Jen started at the top, so we will meet in the middle one day. So I'm now at about 30% in it. Well, 38% I think last time I did my sums. Luna. 40% I am at. So I'm 2/5 of the way through. It's not bad. But I love it. I love the colours and I love this fabric for her. So that's Luna. Right. No point putting that back in the Q-snap because I won't be working on that today. Go to the side. There's Frost and Velvet looking up in the Q-snap when I'm finished with you lovely people. So that's all the stitching for today that I've actually done this week. It's quite a lot. I've stitched every day as usual, which is good. I'm very fortunate I'm able to do that. Other things I've been up to this week, I've made bags. So there's three bags have already been posted, so they'll go up here somewhere at 30 minutes and 9 seconds. Looking for a pen or thereabouts. But I have 2 still to post, which I shall show you now. These are great fun. The fabric is amazing for these. I loved it. They made me smile. So these are going out. They'll get picked up tomorrow and disappear down the road. So there's this lovely SpongeBob and SquarePants. A nice bright yellow zip. Very cheerful. And we have the Grinch. A nice green zip picking up the tree. And him. So these fabrics were picked by the recipient. So I just had a wee hunt around to see if I could find something suitable. To give you a bit of doing. The lady in question had asked me about the SpongeBob one some time ago. So it took a while before I could find something that I thought I could actually work with. But there we are. So they are going out the door tomorrow. I'm very happy with those. I think they're cheerful. So what else is there to talk about? I don't have any haul, but there is upcoming haul. Is that a thing? Who knows? It is for me now. As you know, I kitted up 2 chatelaines some time ago from Zarina at Hawkins Hobbies. I kitted up blue Moroccan lace and hummingbird tile. Pictures will appear, so as you know what I'm talking about. That is at 31.48. So I've got screen grabs of those. What I don't have is the charts, because I was waiting in hope that Chatelaine would have a Black Friday sale, and whoa, they do. 20% off from the 28th through to the 1st of December. So I shall be hopping on that site and taking full advantage to get my 2 charts that I need. I needed a drink. Right, so that will be getting bought towards the end of next week. Now, also, you may recall I showed you, is it Treasure? Oh, I can never remember the name of this chart. Hang on, I've got it on my tablet. Where is the beast? I'll put a picture of it here. The Treasure Ships, I think, or Treasure Trove from Tattoo Designs. No, that's not telling me the name. I can't. Oh, yeah, I can look it up. Hang on, talk among yourselves for a minute or two. I'll put you in pause for a second so you're not twiddling your thumbs while I'm playing with my tablet. Hang on. And we're back. So that was a couple of minutes for me and 0 for you. It's called Treasure Bay. It's a Chatelaine-esque style chart. So when I showed you the last time, when I showed you after I bought it, after the tartan retreat, I was wondering about where I was going to get everything. So I started looking around just to see where I could start getting the extensive list of supplies. And believe me, it is an extensive list. There's Crennick, there's Petite Treasure Braid, there's Silk Lame, there's Silks, Dinky Dyes, Water Lilies, there's Lessian things, of which I have one. Carl last Christmas bought me all sorts of threads at Christmas, including Cosmo and related things, and he bought me this a set of Nishikito, I think it's called, from Lessian, and this is one of the ones that I actually need. So I was chuffed. I suddenly had a brainwave that they might be in there, and this one was. So this is number 3 Fig, I think it is. Aye, no, 103 Fig. So it's just a metallic thread. So I've got one of them. However, where I'm going with this is Corey's little shop. I had reached out to her because I wanted to join the SWA 103 monthly club, and she had no spaces at that point. But she got in touch with me at the end of the week there saying, I've got some spaces now, would you like one? And I said, yes, please. So if you're interested, by the way, in a monthly club to collect SWA 103s, the Overa SWA silks, which are beautiful to use in higher count fabrics, then hop on over, have a look. I'll link her down below. But then I thought, and when I was looking through her website, I noticed she did chatelaines. I thought, I wonder. So I asked, when I was replying to her email, I asked her about kitting up my treasure bay, and she said, oh yes, I can do that for you. So there we are. My problem is solved, insofar as it has now been handed over. So Letitia at Corey's Little Shop is off to have a look and see what she can find. She's going to price it up for me. I've said there's no hurry, because I've got a chatelaine to go. I've got 2 in the wings, as you've just heard. So, I mean, there's no great hurry for this. It can come in next year. I don't mind. But if somebody's going to be able to source all these materials from all the different places, then, oh yes, please. Thank you so much. So, Letitia, if you're watching, thank you, and I'm looking forward to hearing back from you in due course. As I say, there's no rush, just whenever. I know it takes you time to gather everything together and work out what the pricing is, so I shall look forward to hearing from you. But thank you. So, if you've got any of these designs that you're thinking of kitting up, have a word with Letitia. Letitia, I hope you're not suddenly going to, well, I don't know if I hope you get bombarded or not. You depends how busy it's going to make you. But anyway, she was very helpful to me in a very informative email, so hop on over and see what she can do for you. So that's upcoming haul. So what else have I got to show you? Well, I've got some knitting. As you know, I'm not only a cross stitcher, I do various other crafts as well. I like sort of having something to keep my hands busy when I'm watching the telly. So I've got some knitting to show you. I've got 2 bits of knitting to show you actually. So first up is a fairly new one. I am as liberal in my starts of my knitting as I am in my cross stitch. So Arne and Carlos, 2 Norwegian boys, each year have a free Christmas stocking, which then once the season has passed, goes into the shop. So it's on their blog just now. It came out daily parts, but I think the last part has now been released. So if you hop on there before the end of November, you'll get you should be able to get the pattern for free. It's stranded colour work. I'm doing mine in double knit, and I'm on the green section just now. But here's what we're looking like. So I did the toe, which is open toe. I'll close that up with this eventually. You just increase all the way up. So I just increased by, how did I do my increase? Oh, stitching front and back in the second last stitch. Halfway across and full way across on every second round. Then go to the colour work. So the white is my background colour. So I'm holding that in my left hand and knitting by throwing, which is my normal style. And then the pattern colour, which for the red, for example, for the wee hearts there, I'm holding in my left hand and doing continental for that one, and that's working quite well. It took me a wee bit of mental gymnastics to get around, but I've actually got into the knack of that now. Just take my time. And I'm now onto this kind of nice green pattern that's coming through. That's looking not bad. I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I'm very pleased how the hearts turned out actually, because usually when I'm doing stranded colour work, my tension's can be a bit tight, so I'm being very, very relaxed with it. Even at the corners where I've normally got ladders in my stockings, because of it's stranded colour work, it seems to be pulling it together quite nicely. So it's not too bad. There we go. So I'm very happy. There's a wee bit of dodginess here and there where the white has disappeared down here, but I think that's just my tension. Now that my tension's relaxed, I think we're doing not bad. So that's how that's coming on. So all the parts are out. It just makes a Christmas stocking with it. It's got an afterthought heel, which is actually looks complicated but isn't. It says it's never done it, but I've seen the videos for it. It looks actually quite straightforward. So that's coming on not bad. And the other one I've been working on, you may remember from some time ago, is a Stephen West one. This is the Aurora cabin shawl. So there it is. So that looks, again, way more complicated than it actually is, because these bits here, they're just slip stitches each time over that wee section. You just slip that so it just elongates. So that's coming on quite nicely. I just picked a random set of colours. So some nice bright oranges and reds and pinks. And so I'll just keep going with that. I'm quite liking that. Pile of tails. So I was getting into right fankle with the balls of wool, so I just snipped it. So it says just carry them. But that was just getting too much. It was just too much of a girdle going on at my feet. So there we are, a wee bit of knitting that I've been up to. Right, what else is there to tell you? Plans. So I don't know what my plans are this week. Well, I do actually. Temperature stitching, frost and velvet, and then AN other yet to be decided. So it'll either be Luna again, or, well, I don't know what the order is yet. I'm getting the hankering of the twitch for a new piece to work on. Not a new start, although a new start's never beyond the realms of possibility, is it? But certainly a different piece to work on this week. We shall see. I've enjoyed Luna and I seem to be making good progress on her, but she's been going out for about 3 weeks. I think it's time that someone else appeared in my frame, although at the moment I have no idea what that could be. It could be a fancy lady, it could be a full coverage, it could be anything, you know me, this, that or the other. So that's the plans for the coming week. We're a wee bit shorter this week, we're at 40 minutes. I need to have a wee look, see what else I can, in future, what else I can add into the video to get up to my normal 45. So I think that's it for today. It is. So this is the last shout for any questions for Carl. After that, I'll collate them all, and then Carl and I will sit down and we'll record the Q&A, and that will get posted eventually. I suspect there will be some heavy editing going on. Carl and his potty mouth. The boy has no filter, so YouTube unfortunately might have a conniption. We'll see. So there's that. Oh yes, I think I'm going to do giveaways next week. My subscriber list has ticked over 5,000 and has been over that now for about 2 or 3 weeks. So absolutely gobsmacked that at least 5,000 of the cross-stitching community across the world has taken time out to come and watch me in this wee little corner of the central belt of Scotland and hear me going on about my stitching, my bletherings, my musings, my ramblings, and all the stuff that comes out. So thank you so much. It means a lot to me, and I hope you continue to enjoy it. So please, thank you. Accept my thanks and gratitude for that. And just a reiteration, if you want to get in touch with me, Gmail, stuartsandstitches@gmail.com. You also find me on Instagram if you want to send me a message, Stuarts and Stitches. And you can watch me on, well, you can watch my stitching on TikTok as well for my temperature stitching. Again, Stuarts and Stitches is where you'll find me. Leave comments, please, down below. Let me know what you've been working on, what's going on, how you're going on with it. A lot of you have been working towards finishes, which has been very nice to read about. For those of you who did say you were heading towards a finish, I hope you got there. Congratulations if you did. And on to the next piece. And I'll wind up here and let you go into your next floss tube. I know if you're like anything like me, you'll have a huge list that you just work through. And till you get to the bottom, you go back up to the top and start again. It's a never-ending process, and it's such great fun when I'm stitching. I love sitting and watching folk doing theirs and hearing what they're up to. That's my evening stitching. During the day, I'll listen to a book. I've been listening to David Baldacci this week, and his Amos Decker books, which I have really enjoyed. They've been great fun. Well, I don't know if great fun's the right word, but they're very good books. I've really enjoyed listening to them. So if you fancy a thriller type book, have a wee listen to those. And I think that's it for today. I'm rambling now, so I think we'll just sign out. So have a good week. Happy stitching. As Jen would say, get lots of stitches in. And I'll be back next Sunday to show you what I've been up to. So, bye.